we shall start our discussion on degree of reaction, and then we will briefly discuss about several issues of axial flow pump design. If we try to recall, in the last class we have discussed about the pump reaction and we have established the expression of this, and if we try to write today that reaction of pump are, that is nothing but ideal total pressure rise divided by ideal, sorry I have written this reverse, this would be ideal static pressure rise by the ideal total pressure rise, ideal static pressure rise to the ideal total pressure rise, right. And taking an impeller of a radial flow pump, say this is one blade, this is another blade like this, we have shown that this expression can be written mathematically, this is half plus half CR2 upon U2 tan beta 2. So, this is what we have discussed in the last class, right. If we take out this particular blade and draw the velocity triangles both at inlet and outlet. So, if we try to draw the velocity triangle both at inlet and outlet, and if we consider that this is swirl free flow at the inlet. So, this is u1 relative velocity w1 and this is c1 and this is nothing but cr1, that is flow velocity at the inlet. So, if we consider swirl free flow at the inlet, that is c theta 1 equal to 0, and if we try to draw the velocity triangles at the outlet. So, this is c2, this is u2, this is cr2 and this angle is beta 2 and this is w2. This beta 2 is the blade angle at the outlet and this is beta 1. Now, for this particular case, we have taken the example of the impeller of a radial flow pump and we have drawn the velocity triangles at the inlet and outlet, and for this case the degree of reaction can be written in this form. So, this is 1 by 2. So, this is 1 by 2, again I have to erase it. So, this is 1 upon 2. Okay. Now, you can understand today what we will do, we will consider, we can write this 1 plus Cr2 upon U2 tan beta 2. Okay. So, what we will do today, in fact, we have discussed in the last class that from the definition of the pump reaction, we can understand that the ideal static pressure rise by the to the ideal total pressure rise is the degree of reaction, which we can tune by tuning the design parameter, that is beta 2. So, also by tuning the U2, but as I told you that U2 is fixed for a given RPM and of course, the outer diameter of the impeller. So, what we can do, we can tune this beta 2 and we can alter the total pressure that will be developed by the pump. I have also discussed that the pressure that we get at the discharging point is the combination of both, that is the static pressure plus the dynamic head, that is still the flow, still the liquid which is getting discharged is having certain velocity. Okay. So, now what we can do, we will do now several limiting cases, not limiting cases, rather we will consider several cases and we will understand that the total pressure, whether it is the relative magnitude of static and dynamics, the total pressure can be altered by altering the degree of reaction. So, if we consider case 1, that is degree of reaction is equal to 0, case 1 that is R equal to 0. If R equal 0, then from the previous expression we can understand that if R equal to 0, then you can understand that ideal static pressure rise will be equal to 0. So, static pressure rise will be equal to 0, right. In that case, pump has to continue with the kinetic energy only. Okay. So, for this particular case, pump has to continue with the kinetic energy only, fine. If we consider case 2, when R equal half, that is 0.5, then if we try to write from the previous slide that this is the expression of R, if we try to plug in, rather if we try to make the right hand side equal to half, then what we will get. So, you can understand if we get that is half plus half CR2 by U2 tan beta 2 equal half, and we can write CR2 by U2 tan beta 2 equal to 2. Okay. Now, we can play the beta 2 U2, because U2 we cannot change. I will be discussing several issues related to pump design. As I said just now that U2 is fixed for a given RPM. If diameter of the impeller at the outlet is same, then we cannot have any control on this particular term U2, but what we can do, we can alter beta 2, so that the degree of reaction will be half. Now, what is the implication? When the degree of reaction is half, you can understand just without going into the mathematical expression. From this, as I told you that U2 for a given RPM and diameter of the outlet diameter of the impeller or outer diameter of the impeller, U2 is fixed. We can tune beta 2 and CR2 will be also can be varied. So, what you can do, we can alter the design parameter to get the ratio of these quantities 2, so that the degree of reaction will be half. Now, if we now look at the definition of this particular term, that is pump reaction. So, you can understand that ideal static pressure rise by the total pressure rise is equal to 2. So, just the implication is this is half, that is the static pressure rise by the total pressure rise. So, we can see from this what we can write, this total pressure rise is nothing but dynamic pressure rise plus static pressure rise. So, we can write static pressure rise equal to dynamic pressure rise. So, this is what we can write from this case, that is the contribution of the static pressure and dynamic pressure will be equal. So, the net pressure that will be developed by the pump for this case when degree of reaction is half, that can be obtained by tuning the design parameter like blade angle beta 2 and also CR2, that we can, because I can tell you this angle is alpha 2. So, the if we can maintain a particular alpha 2, C2 will be there and accordingly CR2 will be getting. So, what we can do, by tuning the design parameter beta 2 and alpha 2, we can control the ratio of these two quantities, and eventually we will be getting that is 2, and which in turn will help us to get degree of reaction equal to half. If that is the case, we have seen from the definition itself that the static pressure rise will be equal to the dynamic pressure rise, that is these two components, these two pressure components will be equally responsible for the total head that is being developed by the pump. Okay. Now, if we go to case 3, right. So, we have discussed about case 1, that is r equal to 0, then r equal to 0.5, and then finally, what we can consider? We can consider r equal to 1. Okay. So, you can understand that when r equal to 1, then what will be the case. Okay. So, this is the case, again I am writing this half into 1 plus CR2 by U2 tan beta 2, that equal to half, right, following the definition of R, and you can understand that from this expression we can easily write that CR2 by U2 equal to tan beta 2, right. So, just by looking at the mathematical expression for r equal to 1 case, we can write CR2 by U2 equal to tan beta 2. Now, if we go back to the previous slide wherein we have drawn the velocity triangle at the outlet, for which case CR2. So, if we try to, in fact, if we try to draw the velocity triangles again. So, now if we try to draw the velocity triangle here, this is CR2, this is C2, and this is C theta 2, this is W theta 2, this is W 2, and this angle is beta 2, right, and this is U 2. If we try to draw the velocity triangle at the inlet, this is U 1, this is W 1, this is C 1, and this angle is alpha 1. So, you can understand for r equal to 1 case, we can write CR2 by U2 equal to tan beta 2. Then, if we need to obtain, we need to get degree of reaction will be equal to 1, we have to design the pump in such a way this should not be the velocity triangle at the outlet for this particular case. You can understand CR2 by U2 equal to tan beta 2, but this is CR2 and this is U2. If CR2 by U2 equal to tan beta 2, then the outlet velocity triangle. So, for this velocity triangle at the outlet will be like this. This is CR2, this is C2, this is CR2, this is U2, and this is W2, and this angle is beta 2. So, for this particular case, velocity triangle at the outlet will look like this. That means, this is CR2 by U2 equal to tan beta 2, right. So, you can understand that for degree of reaction r equal to 1, when C2 by CR2 by U2 equal to tan beta 2, then this is the velocity triangle. Okay. Now, the pump impeller will be like this. If we try to draw in in a, so this will be the pump impeller. Okay. So, this is the case. Now, what I can tell you that even if it is swirl free flow, so if the flow is swirl free, so when the flow is swirl free at inlet, then C theta 1 equal to 0. So, this is the outlet velocity triangle. Outlet velocity triangle. Right. Now, if it is outlet velocity triangle, then C theta, if C theta 1 equal to 0, then net head developed by the pump H, that is U 2 C theta 2 minus U 1 C theta 1 divided by G. If C theta 1 equal to 0, then we can write U 2 C theta 2 by G. In general, what is C theta 2? C theta 2 is nothing but U 2 minus W theta 2, right. So, what we can write over here is that this is U 2 minus U 2 minus W theta 2 by G. For this particular case, when degree of reaction is equal to 1, what is W theta 2? So, when R equal to 1, W theta 2 equal to in fact, I can write in a bit different form. What is W theta 2 in this case? Shear 2 by tan beta 2. Okay. So, when R equal to 1, then head developed by the pump H equal to U 2 minus W theta 2 divided by G, and we can write this is U 2 minus for this particular. So, this is the generic expression I am writing. Till now I did not impose whether degree of reaction is equal to R, degree of reaction R is equal to 1 or 0.5. So, for this what is W theta 2? So, this Cr 2 by W theta 2 is equal to tan beta 2, right. So, I can write, so I can write that W theta 2 equal to what I can write, W theta 2 equal to Cr 2 by tan beta 2, right. So, basically Cr 2 by W theta 2 equal to tan beta 2. So, W theta 2 is equal to tan beta 2 by Cr 2 by tan beta 2. So, basically Cr 2 by W theta 2 equal to tan beta 2, right. So, this is, say this is figure 1. So, this is figure 1 and this is figure 2. So, this is from figure 1. Okay. So, what about this quantity? If I try to write now, what about this quantity Cr 2 by tan beta 2 from figure 2. So, when R equal 1 from figure 2, Cr 2 by tan beta 2, CR2 by tan beta 2 r equal to 1, CR2 by tan beta 2 equal to U2. So, this is U2. Then what about this quantity? So, when r equal to 1, head developed by the pump will equal to 1 by G into 1 by G into U2 into U2 minus U2, that equal to 0. Okay. So, what we can write that for degree of for r equal to 1, that is when degree of reaction r equal to 1, we can tune the geometry in such a way. So, what you can see from the figure 2, that this beta 2 will be 90 degree. So, when beta 2 is 90 degree, so that means when beta 2 equal to pi by 2, head developed by the pump will be equal to 0. So, we will not get any head at all. So, we have seen 3 different cases today. What are those cases? First one is when r equal to 0, there is no static pressure rise, pump has to continue only in the dynamic pressure rise. So, if you would like to overcome static pressure, it may not be possible. So, whatever pressure that will be getting, that will be in dynamic condition. So, only the kinetic energy, we will not get any static head. Case 2, when r equal to half 0.5, from the mathematical expression we have seen, but eventually we have arrived at this conclusion that the static pressure rise will be equal to the dynamic pressure rise, that is these two pressure components will contribute equally, so that the total head which will be developed will be equally shared by them, right. Last case, when r equal to 1, we have seen by this exercise that we will not get any head at all. So, the net head developed by the pump will be equal to 0. So, at least I have taken these 3 different values, that is r equal to 0, r equal to 0.5, r equal to 1, and we have seen subsequently the consequences what will be on the total head that will be developed by the pump. Whenever a designer is designing a pump, he or she can accordingly select the degree of reaction, that is nothing but, I mean, if we again look at the expression this, that here we are having one ratio, that is velocity ratio CR2 by U2, and that is beta 2. That means, we have to select beta 2 and also the alpha 2 in such a way the degree of reaction can be varied, which in turn will have impact on the total head that will be developed by the pump. What we will do now? We can see from this expression is that the degree of reaction R can be written 1 plus CR2 by U2 into 1 upon tan beta 2, right. So, we can see that degree of reaction is function of this, the velocity ratio CR2 by U2 and as well as the tan beta 2. So, now if we try to plot, which is very important to the pump designer. So, this is beta 2 and degree of reaction R. At least if we try to know, if we try to map this functional relationship in this plane, then looking at this plot, a designer can have information before he or she goes to design the pump. So, what we have seen when beta 2 equal to 90 degree. So, if we try to draw the beta, beta 2, that is 90 degree. So, this is pi by 2. What we have seen when beta 2 equal to pi by 2, you can see that when beta 2 equal to pi by 2 r equal to half. So, when we have discussed about r equal to half, we did not say anything, but at least you can understand when beta t equal to pi by 2, then CR2 by U2 will be equal to half, right. That is what we can see from this from. So, CR2 by U2 tan beta t equal to 2. So, basically you can see that when beta t equal to 90 degree, then r equal to half. So, this is the value, say this is right. So, this is half, right, and then what we can do, we can tune the value of CR2 by this ratio of CR2 by U2, right. So, I can take different color now. Okay. So, what we can do, we can now take these different values of CR2 by U2. Okay. I can take different color. Okay. I will give the, I will write which one is for what. And then I can take another color, that is black. Okay. So, these three different lines I have drawn, and now this is for CR2 by U2 equal to 0.2, green one, this is for CR2 by U2 equal to 0.3, and finally this one for CR2 by U2 equal to 0.4. Okay. So, this is what we have discussed. So, knowing the ratio of CR2 by U2, if we know, if we vary the beta 2, we will be getting R, or if we know the degree of reaction, because our objective is to know degree of reaction, from there we will be able to tell the relative magnitude of static and total pressure rise from the definition itself, right. So, if we know the, I mean you can design beta 2 in such a way, for particular CR2 by U2 we will be able to tell what will be the value of R, and from there we will be able to tell the relative magnitude or relative values of these two pressure components, that is the static pressure and dynamic pressure. Okay. So, now last what I will discuss, we will try to discuss about the design aspects of the axial flow pump. So, now what I will discuss about the design aspects of an axial flow pump, not centrifugal pump. Okay. In fact, if I try to recall, I have discussed in one of my previous classes that the which is very important is that the velocity triangles. So, if we try to draw the axial flow pump, so if we try to draw the axial flow pump, so this is very important, and if we try to draw the blade, one blade, and this is the tip diameter dt and this is half diameter dh. So, these are the things we have discussed in the beginning of this course, that half diameter, tip diameter. What is important today is to know the velocity triangles. From the previous exercise or discussion we have seen that by tuning the design parameter we can control the degree of reaction, which in turn will have an information on the total pressure that will be developed by the pump. If you would like to draw the velocity triangles at the inlet and outlet, right. So, at this is the line. So, this is inlet and this is outlet. If we try to draw the velocity triangles using different color, say this is the red color I am taking to draw the velocity triangle at the inlet. So, if it is swirl free flow, then let me erase it, otherwise I have to draw here. So, this is C1 and this is U1, this angle and this is W1, this angle is beta 1. So, this is the beta 1, right, and similar to CR1 flow velocity for the axial flow pump, we will be having CZ1. This is the Z direction. I will be erasing because I can erase it. So, this is the Z direction. If I take it, this is Z direction and this is the R direction, Okay. So, this is the velocity triangle at the inlet, and if we try to draw the velocity triangle at the outlet using say blue color. So, this will be U2, this will be C2 and this is W2, and this angle is beta 2. Similarly, this is CZ2, right. So, this is what we have drawn, this is beta 2 and you can understand this will be the alpha 2. So, this angle will be alpha 2. Now, if we try to discuss about several aspects of the design of an axial flow pump, right. So, for this particular case, say as I told you, when we are designing a pump or we are designing a pumping system, two quantities are very much important to understand. For the time being, we shall discuss later, there is another important term that is called specific speed, but for the time being one is flow rate Q and other is head H. So, these are given. Also n RPM is given. Then with these given quantities, if you would like to design the pump, then how can we do it? Okay. Now, you know that for this particular case, this is CZ1, that is the flow velocity at the inlet, and this is CZ2, that is the flow velocity at the outlet. If I can recall correctly, that in one of the class I have discussed that for the axial flow pump, since area is remaining constant, Q will be constant. So, the area flow area is pi by 4 dt square minus dH square, and this is constant, and now because half diameter is fixed and tip diameter is fixed. So, area is remaining constant, from the continuity equation it can be shown that Cz1 is equal to Cz2, right. So, flow area equal to pi by 4 dt square minus dh square, half tip diameter square minus half diameter square, and that is given. Now, the flow rate cube will be equal to pi by 4 dt square minus dh square into Cz. The Cz will be equal to Cz1 will be equal to Cz2. This is for the axial flow pump. Right. I have discussed this part. Now, if we know Q, you can understand, if I know Q and also this dt by dh, the ratio of the tip diameter by half diameter, that is also given, and that is nothing but half to 3 by 4th, sorry 4 by sorry I have written. So, this is basically half diameter by tip diameter. So, this is half diameter by tip diameter. So, dh by dt, that is given either half or 0.75. So, I am writing that dh by dt either equal to 0.5 to 0.75, right. Now, if we know at least, because the designer will always follow this ratio, considering any half diameter which is typically considered for the axial flow pump, we can calculate tip diameter from the given ratio. So, what the designer need to consider first is that designer will consider what should be the tip diameter, half diameter. In fact, I have discussed that the diameter of the impeller is typically considered for this pump is like this. So, basically for that value, if the designer considered the half diameter or tip diameter, then basically half diameter is taken by the designer. From the ratio he or she can calculate tip diameter, and if we know tip diameter, half diameter from the given flow rate, for the flow rate, that is what is needed in the in real practice, in real situation. So, from the given flow rate, from the given value of Q, we can calculate dh and dt. What we can do? So, from this equation is 1, from equation 1 we can calculate Cz, right. Cz, that is nothing but Cz1 and Cz2. So, we can calculate Cz. Okay. Next, what we can do, that is given. What we can do? So, now you can go back to the previous slide. So, if we know Cz and RPM is given, so now N is given, I am writing in the next slide. So, now when N is given, right, say 1450 RPM, we have calculated dh and dt from the previous slide. Then we can calculate u1 equal to u2 equal to pi dm n by 60, and that is nothing but pi dh plus dt divided by 2 into n by 60. So, our objective is to calculate u1 and u2, and that is nothing but u. So, you can understand, we can calculate Cz from the given expression, that is q. We can calculate u from the given n. Now, if we go to the inlet velocity triangle, we know Cz1, we know U1, can't we calculate beta 1? Because ultimately we need to know pump design, because we need to design pump. So, basically blade angle at the inlet we need to calculate. So, what we can calculate? So, the beta 1 again I am drawing the velocity triangle at the inlet. So, this is W1, this is U1, this is C1 and this is Cz1. This angle is beta 1, right. So, this is the beta 1, I can erase this part, otherwise it will be confusing. So, what we can calculate? What is beta 1? Beta 1 is equal to, so that is tan inverse Cz1 divided by U1, right. So, that is tan inverse Cz1 by beta 1. So, we can calculate beta 1, right. So, this is one important part. What else we have to calculate? Again we will be doing. Now, if we just go to the previous slide and if we rather if we try to draw the velocity triangle at the outlet, So, this is U2, this is W2, this is beta 2, this is alpha 2, this is C2 and this is Cz2. You can understand this will be W theta 2 and this will be C theta 2, right. Now, next step is, so if we write step 1, this is step 1, this is step 2, next step is step 3. What about U? Head developed by the pump will be from the Euler equation U2 C theta 2 by G, C theta 1 equal to 0, that we can see from the inlet velocity triangle. So, this is outlet velocity triangle. And this is inlet velocity triangle. So, what, because H is given, right, H is given, head is given, right. From the given head we can write U2 C theta 2 minus U2 we know. So, U2 into what is C theta 2. So, we can calculate C theta 2 easily. So, U2 known. So, we can calculate C theta 2, that is G into H divided by U2. So, from this we can calculate C theta 2. Then what we will do? Next objective is to calculate beta 2 and alpha 2, already we know beta 1. How can we calculate beta 2? You can understand beta 2 is nothing but W theta 2 by Cz2, Cz2 by W theta 2. So, what about tan beta 2? What is tan beta 2? Cz2 by W theta 2, Cz2 by W theta 2. Now, W theta 2 equal to U2 minus C theta 2, right. So, we have calculated C theta 2, so this is equation number 2, right. So, it is known using equation 2. So, what we can do? We can calculate beta 2 equal to tan inverse Cz2 by u2 minus C theta 2. So, again we can calculate, we know this. So, this is again what is obtained, and finally, we are left with alpha 2. So, can't we calculate alpha 2? What is alpha 2? So, basically we know C theta 2, we can calculate easily what will be C theta, alpha 2. So, this is again simple, and alpha 2 will be equal to tan inverse. What is tan alpha 2? Cz2 by C theta 2. So, Cz2 by C theta 2. So, again we can calculate this, I mean if we just mark this, so we have calculated, right. So, that is what we can see that. So, if we now try to summarize what we have discussed today, first we have discussed about the degree of reaction, and from there we have taken 3 different values, and we have seen that by tuning the design parameter we can control the we can change the degree of reaction. If we change the degree of reaction, then what will be its impact on the total head that is developed by the pump, we have seen. Then we have seen that for the designer, I mean if we try to plot that functional relationship, that is the degree of reaction can be written in terms of beta 2 and the velocity ratio of velocity components CR2 by U2. So, from that plot, at least for a given CR2 by U2, at least if we know the if we design beta 2, then we can understand what will be the degree of reaction, and then from there we can predict what will be the relative magnitude of these 2 different velocity pressure components that will be developed by the pump. Finally, we have also discussed about several issues of the axial flow pump design design, provided these 3 information are given, basically flow rate, head and RPM. So, having information on these quantities, that is flow rate, head and RPM, following the step that we have discussed today methodically, that is step 1, step 2 and step 3, we can at least calculate what will be the design parameter, and that is nothing but if we try to look at the velocity triangles where these 2 velocity triangles are drawn, that beta 1, beta 2 and alpha 2, right. So, this will help us at least to understand what will be the I mean a designer can quickly design the pump based on the requirement in practical applications. So, with this I stop here today, and we shall continue our discussion in the next class. Thank you.